now listening to The Real.
Man, I appreciate them dudes for talking about
The Raw.
Wait, they were talking about
The Relatable.
That's exactly what I've been going through.
The Relentlessly Real Podcast.
Welcome to the Relentlessly Real Podcast, where we discuss real, raw, and relatable topics. Thank you for taking time to listen to our podcast today, guys. Let's kick this off with some introductions. My name is John.
My name's Mike.
My name's Antonio.
And as always, I am Terrence.
Still Terrence. So Terrence. I love that we did not even know what order we were going to do. Right. Tony's like, Antonio pointed at the screen like, somebody go.
You don't know who you're pointing to, boy.
I know, right?
This is a special podcast because we got all of the team on here today. As you guys know, for the past couple of months, Antonio's been covering for Mike. As Mike has been getting his, I don't even know how many degrees do you have at this point? Like, where are we at? I don't even know.
Oh gosh. So I've just completed my doctoral program. So got my grades back and I have passed. I will be a doctor in theology.
Wow.
Dr. Williams.
This upcoming weekend, graduation is going to be virtual. So
virtual.
Congrats.
Yeah.
What, you gonna walk across the screen?
Yeah.
Is that literally what they do? Like,
you walk across that jump. Nah,
that's dope.
So it's actually going to be like at the school, but everybody's going to have to watch it. Like, nobody can be in there but people that are actually going to graduate and the professors and stuff like that. Social distancing, that's
man. That's incredible, man. Congratulations, bro. Let us be the first.
Congrats.
Let us be the first to congratulate you. Well, maybe not the first, but it was you and your wife, right? I mean, like y'all both. Okay.
Yeah, both of us. We were in the same class.
Wow. You must really love that woman. Y'all was like in house and in class together.
Yeah, man. It was definitely not a easy feat, man. Because with both of us being in school, not just both of us being in school, but being in the same class, you would think that would help. But if you got the same deadlines, if you got the same projects, stuff like that, you're not always working on the same project with your wife.
Yeah.
So
I would not want that I wouldn't want that for my life.
Yeah,
that sounds
man.
tough.
But we were graced for it, man. I seen God's grace in it, and that's something I just cannot deny.
Yeah,
and I refuse to get emotional about it right now because I'm not gonna say that for graduation.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
That's great.
So both of y'all doctors?
Yeah.
Wow.
We both will be officially on the what's this upcoming Saturday, the 11th?
11th.
Yeah, officially on the 11th.
That's dope.
We got our grades back and we good to go, man.
Hey. Were you nervous? Was you nervous about like your grades?
At first I was. Okay, so like going through the program, it was points where I'm just like, I don't know where I'm going to be able to do this. On top, like not just the curriculum, but on top of the 30,000 word dissertation that needed to be done too.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I could not fathom how I was going to get it done, but because I know this is something I know God wanted me to do. Originally, I was not going back for this, and I've talked to y'all about that plenty of times. Like, I'm done. I ain't going back or whatever. But God put on my heart to do it, and once I was obedient to that, I seen His grace in it like every day, till completion, and then like maybe a few days before I completed the dissertation, I was like, like I was still like thousands of words short, like maybe like 4 days before the deadline. I'm like, come on, man. Oh my gosh. So
you went into the recesses of your brain to try to find out what to say on that paper, bro.
Cranked it out.
That's crazy.
So what are you going to do? Like, so what's your job path, career path you're going to do with that degree?
So there wasn't necessarily a career path in mind because
it was just you just did it.
I did it more so for the knowledge retention, right? So and to growing in Christ and my relationship with God. So a lot of times what people they have their perception of, okay, if you're going to go to school for this, you're going to go into a career with this, you're going to do something with this. Keep in mind, like there are people out there like that are not Christians that know more about our religion than we do, that know more about our Bible than we do. So when people start speaking about certain things, we need to come from a level of like there needs to be a level of education that we need to have about something that we practice, right? So that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. I wanted to only grow in my faith, grow in my knowledge about God, and being able to speak to things and bring clarity to certain things that people don't have clarity on, whether they are Christian or not. So.
I got some debates I want to have with you, sir. This would be great. I'm excited. What's been going on with you guys? I know now we know Mike is on his way to being Dr. Mike. That's what we're gonna have to call him. We got to change your name on the Google Hangout. Right. Now Dr. Mike. But what's up with you? What's up with you, T? You look like you about to fall asleep.
Right.
No, good. Right? I mean, I can't see myself. I hate this Chrome extension crap. I hate it. Like I can't see myself. So
it's okay though.
It's all right.
Life is okay. Like this is okay.
maybe if you move your hat a little bit.
Right, move your hat up. I mean, just let us see your eyebrows again. Like, what's going on?
I don't have any eyebrows. I cut them all off. Jason Derulo this joint.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Has it been good? Has your past couple of weeks been good though? Or we ain't been on here for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, so summer school ended. And that's really like for us, like that's when the work really actually starts during the summertime. So, I'm actually running summer school. So I'm the principal of summer school in a sense because my not like it's not shade, but that's how it is. Like one of the assistant principal always run summer school, and so I've been doing it for the past 4 years, and we're doing it virtually, but it's just been a lot of work. Like just setting up the classes and setting up like putting the schedule together, enrolling kids, contacting parents, contacting family, like getting all the mailing off letters, and it's just been like going over grades. It's just been like and we're running like 3 different programs, so it's a lot of work, and so it all starts Monday. But it's been a lot of work the past 2 weeks, making sure 3 weeks, make sure everything is set up and good to go. And, payroll, I'm in charge of payroll, in charge of, all that stuff like that. It's all me. So it becomes stressful because you're like, if it fails, it's like you messed up. And I don't want to fail at it. So it's probably more pressure than I thought. Like I'm putting on myself because it's like, you're not going to fire me. Like makes sense. Like you gotta, it's not like, but in your mindset, to me, it's just bigger than that. I don't want to not mess up because I know you can't fire me. I just don't want to mess up because I don't want to mess up. Like, I want to make sure everything has been done correctly.
That's just the pride that you have about your work.
Yeah. So I'm just like, and then I hate it because we're such of a large school system that a lot of things I have to do, I have to wait on somebody else. And then when they don't do their job right, it makes me look ineffective. Like parents have been calling me like, have you sent out the letters? I'm like, I actually can't send anything out because I don't have an official, I don't know this. I don't know how it's going. I don't have all these things I'm waiting for other people to send. And so it's funny because I'm talking to other APs and they all have the same complaint too. Like, did you get this? Nope, didn't get it yet. So, but no, we all part of the org. No one, an organization. No one cares. At the end, it's just like your school sucks. Like you guys are messing up. Like even though I'm waiting for other people to do their part. So it just. Hopefully Monday, I'm just kind of you can probably hear through my voice, I'm kind of a nervous wreck. But once Monday and Tuesday kind of gets through, and I get this, get through the first couple of days and kick out all the errors that are gonna happen, then I'm like, okay, cool. Now we're rolling, and then I'll be good again.
That makes sense. What's up with you, T? Tony.
None. Just working, getting my paycheck, chilling,
getting that paycheck, chilling,
enjoying time with the wife.
Yes, amen. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's about it, bro.
Yeah,
that's about it. Laying low.
Nah, I feel you. I feel like the same way. Laying low, chilling, trying to get through this. I'm just trying to make it through COVID-19. Everybody here on this Jones just trying to get through this whole COVID-19 situation. So we're still in our COVID basically podcast series, if you will. I mean, we're all meeting virtually, staying socially distanced, not getting close to each other. We are just like, man, we're going to just keep the podcast coming and you know what, keep having conversations together. So you guys know we have a new segment. It's called What Would You Do? Mike, you was here when we did this new segment, right? Like you was on the
Yeah, I think that was like
the first one.
Yeah,
that was the first one. You were like, cool, great. Yeah, you were like, great. Now I'm gonna get my doctorate. Okay, Mike. Good to see you. This stupid segment.
What would you do if you could get a doctorate?
I would leave the podcast. Exactly. So look, guys, I got the new segment. I got some questions for you guys. So here's the first one. Would you rather have more time or more money? I love this one. Would you rather have more time or more money? I feel like T about to say something. Go ahead, T.
Antonio and Mike. What do you mean by more
time? Here's what we're not going to do. This is what we're not going to do to T. We are not going to find loopholes.
What do you mean life? Like life?
More time. Okay, so if you had to choose between more time or more money, so not more, but maybe you could say more life or more hours in a day. I would say
more money.
Give me more money.
Give me more
money. Or I said more time. I said more hours in a day or more life. Let's say, because I feel like when I say more hours in a day, y'all like, oh, cool. That ain't nothing to think about. So what if we said more life? Like you guys are living to be 180, and most people are living to be 80, and you have more time.
More money.
You have more time to figure out how to make more money. You gonna say more money?
Give me more money.
Nah, I think I'm gonna go with more time, man. I think I'm going with more time because the more time you got, the more time.
But he didn't say good health.
Does that make sense?
He didn't say good health. That's my thing.
He didn't.
Yeah, you're gonna be 90 years, 95, 102 years old, wheelchair. But I got this money.
If you're 90 years old with T's body, do you still stay on Earth, or you just kill yourself?
Money.
I'm killing myself. And it's my body.
All right, cool.
Yo, so, with that, sidebar plug. Y'all know I'm in the movies. This movie came out. It's funny about that. It's called Irresistible with like Steve Carell. It's a politics movie. Steve Carell. And whatever the girl
you said something about that on your social media, right?
Yeah. Whatever the girl name is from Bridesmaids, Rose, I think Byrne. But it was a scene where they were trying like to find like these donors, and it like a really rich donor, and it was like, well, I finally got you a billionaire donor, and they named the guy's name like, isn't he dead? Like, didn't he die? he was coming into this like he's not dead. He had several strokes, but he's still alive. Yo, he walked in with all types of medical equipment on his body. It was like the room started shaking, like the Jurassic Park. You saw the water shake.
Yeah.
He couldn't even talk no more. It was like a machine talking to him. He's like,
oh my God.
How do you feel about global warming? Like,
are you serious?
God, if you gotta live like that,
I gotta watch that. I want to watch that
it's
one.
Funny. Like, if I gotta live like that just to like make it,
you give me the money.
Just kill me, yo. Just kill me. Like he's dead. Like he's not alive.
Nah, I got you. All right.
What you're saying.
Would you rather lose your hearing or your sight? Hearing or your sight?
Hearing, because I'm tired of you talking.
Yeah.
You say you're tired of what?
I'm tired of you talking anyway. So
wow.
I would do hearing.
Nope, I'm doing sight.
You would rather lose your sight, Mike?
Yeah, I think so. Because, I don't know. Think about the senses, right? So all the things that we, I guess, listen to as far as music, as far as like doing this podcast, as far as just being able to hear, I think I would rather have my hearing rather than having sight.
I'm with that actually. I just thought about it, and I like it. I couldn't imagine never hearing again. Like, I'm a musician. Yeah. Like, what would I do with my whole entire life? I could be blind and make this thing work, but I could not hear and make this thing work.
I just imagine yourself in a quiet room for however amount of time. Even if you talk to yourself, you can't hear it. You know what I'm saying? That's sick.
That is sick.
That's so sick, bro. Nah.
I don't know if you said like that, because I'm thinking like, I could still do a lot of things in life with my sight. I could still drive. I could still, read text messages. I could still cook, I can still.
Didn't you hear us trying to pull you over? No, sir.
But you could see us pulling you over, you stupid mother. You ain't see them lights?
Right.
All right, so I actually agree with I agree with Mike on the. I would rather. I need to hear. There's no way you could say that because you need to hear movies or you need to hear music. You love music way too much. But you love music way too much.
Boy, you're gonna be reading them captions for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but you need both for movies. So I'm like, I'm damned if I do if I don't.
But I'm talking about music. You love to be in your car blasting music. You're telling me you'd rather not hear nothing. Nothing.
No, see my wife.
You don't need to see your wife. You remember what she looked like? You know what things are. Amen.
Well, take a note out of Ray's book. You know, let me feel your wrist. You know.
I mean, you know, I would definitely. I would choose sight. I would rather see than lose my hearing. Here's the last one. Would you rather have a maid or a cook?
A maid.
Cook.
A maid.
I can't even answer quick. I want both. I need both. Go ahead.
I can cook, but it's always nice to have somebody clean up after.
Yeah.
And then anything else around the house, I didn't gotta worry about it because I got a maid. But I can spend 30 minutes and cook.
Right. True.
Nah, I like things done in a particular order and things to be like cleaned a certain way. So I would rather do the cleaning.
Mike could go right behind the clean. Like this is how you scrub.
No.
You got to get into those nooks. That's the problem. You don't know how to get in those nooks.
That's alpaca.
Come here. What is that?
Right.
You call that clean?
Yeah. So should you be seeing that? Should you be seeing that? I know I shouldn't be seeing it. So why?
Yo, Mike been done fired about 9 maids.
Right.
No,
about 12. It's cool.
I would say I agree with I would probably say maid. I would want you to clean. I can cook my own food because what if you can't cook? If you can cook amazingly, then I won't cook. But if you don't cook,
what if you can't clean?
If you can't clean, you got some fundamental problems.
Come on now, COVID-19. You
got fundamental problems if you can't clean.
I'm with it.
We all just living gross.
Yeah,
I'm with it. I'm with it. All right, so guys, you guys already know. All right, so we are going to make sure that this podcast is light. We're going to keep it as light as possible. I promise you, because we've been heavy. We've been coming in heavy, Pauls, for the last few episodes. We're talking about Black Lives Matters and talking about how they're treating us on the streets of these here COVID-19 streets. And we've been like, all right, okay, we get it. But we gotta say before we get into the funny parts of this podcast, right? Before we even move on, how is Breonna Taylor's killers still not being arrested?
See, I don't want to answer. I'm gonna let y'all talk.
No. Help me understand. In this climate where everyone's saying Black Lives Matter, white people are sitting there fighting alongside of us, so-called sometimes whatever. You gonna tell? I said sometimes so-called whatever, Tony. I'm just saying, how is Breonna Taylor's killers still walking around here free?
I just say Childish Gambino said it the best. This is America. Period.
There's no, but look, but I'm saying in the climate we are in today. Today we're in a climate where everything's like change everything. Take the Confederate statues down. Change how we handle this and how we do that. Okay, can you please arrest the people that murdered Breonna Taylor? Like I don't understand. I hear this is America, but I'm just saying I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
I want more than that. I want more than that.
What do you mean more than that?
So because here's the reason why. So if we digress or break down what happened with that case, number one, I want to see body cam footage. I want to see a lot of things. Second of all, what I also want to know is who gave those cops the information that the person was there, because they need to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
The people who wrote the laws, the people who wrote the laws to allow no-knock warrant, and the same people in office who are just now repealing that law should also be held accountable. Like, to me, there was a systematic failure to me that is bigger than those police officers. Now, unless you're telling me those police officers were detectives where it was their case. You see what I'm saying? Like they were totally in charge of everything from beginning to the end. It was their case. They presented the warrant to the judge. But if they were police officers who like would just, walk in, and I'm just being hypothetical. They walked into to work, they clocked them, and then their sergeant, their chief was like, hey, I got this warrant. You guys need to go execute. You need to go, you gotta go lock them up, you got, etc. And they were just following orders, right? Following orders. They knocked, and if they knocked on the door, they said they were police, allegedly, because we don't know that. Like, we don't know that, allegedly. Mm-hmm. And then after that, someone started shooting and they shot back. There's a systematic failure here. Like, the way I see it, the police department who gave out the wrong information, the people at the warrant office who wrote the warrant with the wrong address, there's a systematic failure, and they all need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. It's bigger than those police officers. In this case, it is bigger than police officers who made a mistake. They were if they were given wrong information, those people need to be held accountable too. But I'm flipping it. If it was their baby and it was their case, and they were the one who went, they knew the guy was already in custody. They already had the warrant, and they have history of systematic racism or police, like a history of cases in which they were being questioned about the way they handle police people. Then by all means, hold them accountable alone. But I just think, to me, with this case, it's bigger. There was some systematic failures here that those people get off the hook, and I don't like that. To me, I don't like that. Why is it? It shouldn't just be those police officers. No, there were a lot of failures here. Don't just put the trigger man in trouble. Like, it's different to me. It's different than the one with the other
trigger man's the one that killed him, though. Like, I get that there's more people than the people that pulled the trigger involved. However, the other people they should not be held to the same account. They should. No, that's why I disagree. Because if I'm writing something down and it's incorrect, I'm not going in there thinking that they're going to go in there and shoot and kill whoever they see. That's not necessarily the case every single time.
No. So I'm not saying charge. They need to be fired because let me be very clear. There's a civil here. There's a civil case here, and there's a criminal case here. The civil case, to me, is clear. There's no way in the world that Breonna Taylor's family do not have a civil lawsuit, like a lawsuit, which should, millions of dollars, multi-million dollars. The girl in Baltimore got awarded $38 million the other day.
I heard they got that reversed though too.
No, it got reversed, but then it got re-reversed. Now it's back on. It got reversed in February, and now it's back on again.
Okay.
And so that's the civil case, to me, is clear. You guys messed up dramatically. The criminal case, to me, is where I'm not saying it's gray, but there are more people, to me, who could be criminally charged here than just the police officers, because like that's why I say I want more evidence. But to me, it's bigger than the police officers. I don't care. Like, it's different than the other guy with George Floyd. That the department ain't nothing to do with that. You see what I'm saying? That's these two idiots and these two idiots alone who acted by themselves. But in this Breonna Taylor joint, like, no, y'all sent this fool to the wrong. Y'all sent them to the wrong house. Like, you guys, and you for well had the guy in custody already. So
yeah. So what you're saying is, like, there's a process that takes place before they even get to the front door.
Yeah,
and those folks that are involved in that process need to be held accountable.
You're liable.
You can be held accountable, but not. You never said. You're not saying prosecuted. You're saying being fired. I'm saying I don't even know about even being fired for something that I don't even know how they got that address. How they, like, who knows how that all transpired? Maybe held accountable could just mean reprimanded. I don't know, and I don't know if that's already been done.
No, I'm
saying you're saying fired, but I'm like, you and I'm sure other people have made mistakes. I'm not saying this is okay platform to make mistakes on. I understand that their job is drastically different. I get that. But what I'm saying is we all make mistakes in our jobs.
That's a big mistake, though.
It's a big mistake, but the issue's not the heavier part is not them writing down the address. Them writing down the address did not put a distance to that boy on that girl's head.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, keeping it light. All right, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm not saying this is how I think, right? Let's say we take the cops' side on this for a second. The cops are saying that they knocked on the door. They were going after a drug dealer.
So they wouldn't knock on the door.
Say it again.
It's a no-knock warrant.
But remember, according to my news, the cops saying they did announce themselves. They, as police officers, opened the door. Now, Breonna Taylor's family said that didn't happen. They didn't happen. But the only person who's alive still, it ain't Breonna, it's the fiance, right? The boyfriend. Yeah. He's the only one alive. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. If Breonna Taylor, if the cops announce themselves like they said they did, which is why I want to see the body cam footage. Because if we got body cam footage, then that's the evidence right there. Period. Mm-hmm. You announce yourselves. We're police officers. Come outside, and then immediately and remember they're going after a drug dealer, a known drug dealer, and immediately they start shooting through the door. As a police officer, what is a police officer supposed to do?
Shoot back.
I'm playing devil's advocate, right? Shoot back. Somebody got killed in the midst of them shooting back. Now, I'm saying that is a legal practice in the police force. That's the problem, which is why the cops have not been arrested.
There's a legal problem with shooting back when you're getting shot at? Hold on, what we talk about?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, that's why I'm saying this is a systematic error bigger than those two cops. Because what I'm saying is, and I'm not a police officer, that's why I really want to get someone who's a police officer to tell me, if you are in the middle of someone shooting at you, is it a known practice for you to fire through the door back? I don't think it is, because you don't know who you're shooting at. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Okay.
Like I feel like in my mindset, you don't know if there's kids in there, you don't know if there's babies in there, you don't know anything in there, and you're just shooting through a door. See what I'm saying? I can't think how that would be a legal, or a clear practice of law enforcement. It makes sense? I don't know that because I'm not a police officer.
Gotcha.
But I'm just saying that's why I think there is a huger issue here about what practice you're doing when you're just executing a warrant. What are the legal and what's allowed versus what's not allowed? Those people need to be held accountable. Like, in other words, if it wasn't a big deal of what I'm saying is, then why did they reverse the no-knock warrant?
Because they knew that was not something that they should have been doing, in my opinion.
No, because somebody
died. Went wrong. Yeah.
Because something went wrong.
Yeah, but I'm saying from the jump, that's something that a no-knock for what purpose do you? If you have the building surrounded, why do you need a no-knock warrant?
But it was never an issue. Somebody died. See what
I understand that it changed because of that, but you're still not handling. You're still not dealing. I mean, my opinion, you're not dealing from the lens of, if the building's surrounded, why we need a no-knock warrant? What we really about to do in this house, like that you need to barge in.
Well, here. if you're going for a drug dealer,
yeah, you're going for a drug dealer, but if it's
a surprise,
I get the element of surprise, Tone. But my only thing is, cool, element of surprise. You believe me, when you knock on the door and say the police, there's already the element of surprise there. But when you're saying a no-knock warrant, you don't know what's in there, and they don't know who's coming through the door either. And that should have been a part of the initial thought process of, what if we do have the wrong house? What if it is the wrong information? Then if someone knocks on your door, or doesn't knock on your door, Tony, and you got an AR and whatever, right? And you're like, yo, somebody's breaking into my house, and they're not. You don't know that they're police or not. You're going and grabbing your AR and you're going to fire too. So I'm saying, and that should have been thought of on the front end of this whole thing, not on the back end, not responsibly. You know what I
mean? That's my thing. It never is, which is why that we were talking about that earlier off camera, like that guy who was policing the streets and like with his, not policing the street, but pretty much defending black women. That went viral the other day with he had his long rifle out in the streets, and then people were asking him, why do you have your gun? And he's just like, why not? Like why not? And one thing he said that stood out to me, he said that police officers are not trained to fight crime. That's not their goal. They don't fight crime. The crime has already happened when they're there. Yeah. And so, and when he said that, I was like, that's I never thought about it like that. To which is your point is, John, is the purpose of the warrant. They're not at that point trying to fight crime. They are at this point, they already believe a crime is taking place, and they're just trying to apprehend the suspect.
Right.
That's not fighting crime.
That's interesting.
So they can care less about what happens. That's how I look at it. You can care less.
You're right. And I want to put a button in it because I don't want us to go left. I didn't want. I understand.
I just already on the exit ramp.
No. Look, I know we have beat Black Lives Matter in this to the ground. I get that, but I also feel like I had to say at least pose the question to like, how in this climate are we still fighting for things that should have been taken care of, been handled with everything that's going on?
And I think it's just that law, John. I think it's just that law, John. That
so
law.
I'm gonna mention something, right? So a friend of mine had posted or reposted something that a perspective that somebody gave in reference to Black Lives Matter, police brutality, and all that other stuff. They talk about doing all these different changes and people, I guess, coming out the woodwork saying, hey, we support Black Lives Matter. This shouldn't have happened, this, that, and the third. And doing little subtle things to show change, like change is happening. Think about you take your car to a mechanic shop to get your engine fixed, right? Mm-hmm. So you leave for a little while, you let the mechanic do his thing. You come back, the mechanic says, hey, man, I waxed your car. I cleaned your tires. I even put like some new headlights on your car and everything like that. The car looks nice, but your engine still ain't fixed. Right. So you did all these things, to make cosmetically to make this look fine, but the engine still needs to be fixed. The point that they were trying to say is, stop trying to do all these different things. Yeah, those are great cosmetically. Like, we see that you're trying to purpose yourself in a way of like, hey, you're for Black Lives Matter, but fix the daggone engine.
Yeah. That's actually a good segue to one of the things that we talked about. Like that someone I saw a lot of our like mutual friends of ours talking about the whole Redskins thing and changing their name. And like, how do y'all feel about that? Like, do you think it's like, because I'm gonna be real for a second. I did see a lot of Redskin fans who were pretty much like, I don't understand what the big deal is, and I'm just like, all right, you just saying that because you're a fan.
Yeah. Like, at this point,
I'm like, all right, like you were all for everything else, but because it's your precious funky team, now you're like why we can't, like that's how I felt. But they would say like it's just like a gesture. It's not like a real thing, and I'm just like,
so
it needs to go.
So okay, if white people in movies go around doing blackface again, it's just a gesture, right?
Right. No.
Yeah. So I mean, in my opinion, all right, since we're doing all these reforms and stuff like that, people bring things out the woodwork.
That's what I
said.
Change
the freaking name. Change the name.
It's all or nothing to me right now. It all goes.
Change the name and the logo. Just go ahead.
That's it. Like I don't see why that's so like difficult to grasp why people want the name change. And I mean, I saw the one meme of the Cleveland. There's somebody put the Cleveland Indians or somewhere like this, like trying to hunt them in that scene. Don't look at us I mean, I'm like, yeah, because if they change that, you next, you gotta go. Like, you gotta go. Right. But I mean,
think that's hilarious.
I mean, what do y'all think? You think it should change the name?
I think they should change it.
I mean, why not? They suck anyway. Yeah. Who the heck cares? Like, I mean, very seriously, like the Redskins ain't mattered in years. Change them to the Washington Whiskers. I heard somebody say that, and I was like, I love that. The Washington. No one could be offended with that name. They're just, hey, the Whiskers are here.
No one's gonna be scared either. Like at that
all cats matter. That's the way we're gonna carry that thing. Look, Nike removed all their Washington Redskins products from its website. And people been wanting, y'all know Redskins, they've been wanting to change that for years, like we just talking about. So like, I love the energy of corporations making their own decisions, saying, you know what, we ain't even selling Washington Redskins gear. So I think the way Nike they're teetering on something that makes sense. Everything starts with the freaking money. If you take the option to purchase Washington Redskins gear away, you're gonna be like, let's change the name to anything else other than this, so we can get some money coming in, because that's what it's all about.
Didn't FedEx say that? What did FedEx say? Like, they're the ones who actually own the field. FedEx.
I don't know what they say. Do you have a report on that? Because I don't have no report on FedEx.
Let's call FedEx right now.
Right. Let me see what FedEx did.
I think FedEx said they would no longer sponsor the Redskins organ, and they're the ones who are the sponsoring. They
said that.
Yeah, that was the big thing. That's how it started.
Let me. Hold on. You out here saying things.
Right.
We ain't gonna tell them.
So that's not the start of this was the restart of this year. Redskins name change been pushing for like a long time.
Yeah,
The thing that made it a big deal right now was that FedEx said they would no longer sponsor the team anymore.
Wow.
And they're the ones that's fronting the bill.
Well,
I see that it says they asked them to change their names. FedEx, which is naming rights to the stadium in which the Washington Redskins play, made a request Thursday that they change their nickname.
Yeah, which means they front. In other words, that's a big deal when your sponsor says you all need to change this. Like this is the first time the ownership has ever said, well, maybe we should take a look at that. Like that's the first time.
So I think it's interesting that corporations are taking this stance, though, right? And you kind of have to ask the question, what's the real motive here?
Come on, Mike.
Yeah,
Dr. Mike.
Go ahead, yo. So you gotta ask, what's the real motive? Are you worried about, actually supporting your customers, or are you worried about your customers supporting you?
Right.
And your brand.
But Mike, no one has to answer that question. That's the bottom line. Like you can never answer the question of intent. You can never answer that question. Yeah. Like we'll never know. They'll be like, they can say whatever they want to say to protect their brand. That's all. And a lot of times it's just that. Like when we talked about this the last episode, I think, like where we talk, like everybody come out the woodworks, like BLM. We support Black Lives Matter. We've given money towards Black Lives Matter. You just want that black money because you understand. Right. And we've talked about this before. The stimulus check was given to black people because they knew black people would spend it.
Yep.
They know you're going to spend your money. They know when they give you that bread, we can depend on that black community they're going to sustain the economy with how much they're going to spend. So if they know that as a pretense before they even give us the check, they know that, all right, we got to make sure we are all for Black Lives Matter because these niggas care about that. And if we say we're for it, they're going to keep bringing their money to us and supporting our corporations, companies, et cetera.
Playing devil's advocate, because I agree with John is saying, but they don't kind of have a choice, because if they don't say anything, they look like they're anti the movement.
It definitely is. It's definitely damned if you do and damned if you like for sure.
The block is hot right now.
So if you don't tell me that you support Black Lives Matter, I'm swinging on sight. Like that's just the energy of the climate.
So I still can't trust your motive.
So in other words,
exactly.
should we like not be so? I guess I'm feeling like, so as black people, should we not be happy with these gestures?
We should not be stupid and not think that for some reason that they're really doing this because they care about black. They did not all of a sudden care about black people's lives.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because you're marching Black Lives Matter, they're like, yes, Black lives do matter. We're gonna, yes, that's exactly what it is. Do you still make money? Then yes, Black lives. Do you still have money? Black lives really matter.
Off for you.
But that goes back to what I was
saying. Use the code Black Lives Matter for the discount code when you pay your money. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, that goes back to what I was saying. Thanks for my new rims. Thanks for my new paint job. I'll wait till y'all fix my engine.
Speaking of that, though,
you can take it all. Like that's how I feel. Don't get me wrong. I will take your gesture. Yeah. Now, thank you for getting rid of your Redskins name.
No. Let me T. No. We're not taking no gestures.
No. let me finish my point. Yes, I want you because the point back to what I was saying is what the person who said it was like, when we need to stop talking about the Redskins name and talk about black ownership. And I said, let me pause you right there. No, you need to change your name. However, we do need to talk about black ownership. I think we can do it.
Two things can be true. I hear you, but them changing the what is this in Houston? Changing the name from bedroom to the master bedroom to just bedroom. Yeah. I don't want that. I don't need you to do that for me. Okay, I just don't need that. Don't bother me. I actually like having a little master suite.
And that's why you stuck. That's why you stuck, John. In here,
I cannot with real estate agents like, we don't call it the master bedroom anymore. We call it just the bedroom.
John still was the Auntie Mama syrup and the Uncle Ben's rice.
I sure do. And listen up. Also, NFL, we also don't want the black national anthem played before week 1 games. What in the hell is wrong with y'all? Like, we don't need that. I don't want it. It actually makes me mad. I don't want to, because you're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin the one thing we had was this, and you're going to take it and ruin it. I
You know what started this mess? You know what started this mess?
Ariana Grande gonna sing the first one.
The daggone
one.
They better not get Britney. They be like, all right, Britney Spears, Ariana Grande. Who else white can we get to do this black thing?
Taylor Swift.
Man, and Jennifer Hudson. You're like, you know what? Just stop. Just stop.
I blame them daggone Democrats for wearing them daggone Afghans and their fault. Now they get all this patronizing.
We were all for that when some people were for that. All right, Nancy Pelosi on her one knee trying to get back up off that floor. People was dying.
If this ain't the biggest patronizing you ever talk about a gesture,
bro.
What?
There has never in the history of time been a more stupid tactic to stand with Black Lives Matter. And here's the thing. When Nancy Pelosi's secretary or whoever said, they said, can you order 500 African kente cloths? We're gonna that person should have been like, hold on, Nancy. No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that, Nancy.
The person that's selling it to
if you are white, you need a black friend, a real black friend.
That's it.
Black friend is gonna be like, that's just stupid.
you need a Shaniqua on your staff. That's what you need.
Yeah, the person that's selling it to them, they probably like, hold on, let me repeat the order back. So you
I'm gonna take your bread. I'm gonna take your bread, but I just want to be very clear. It needs to go into who?
And the receptionist is like, yes, this is what I want.
Look, yes, they ain't never Kente Claus ain't never had this much business. They're like, hold on, wait, where is this going?
It's free publicity. You know what? I will give you two for free, but can we use this image in any way, fashion in the future? In any way,
I have 10 memes ready to go as soon as you.
Yo, I saw one that said Nancy was like, I too know how to nuck when I'm bugged. I was done.
I cannot. You hear me? That is the funniest thing.
I've gone to the window to the wall.
Come on, Nancy. Let me tell you something.
But to their defense, it's so funny. But I feel like black people didn't cancel them. We just laughed at them.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen happen in my entire life of living. Was seeing them Democrats kneel. I was like, never have I seen any pandering than I did in the past couple of weeks when y'all were kneeling down in your Kente.
I ain't seen them on TV since. I have not seen them on TV since.
I don't want to see you till it's time for elections. Okay, I don't want to see you.
And you better not have that daggone Kente.
If you put it, I might almost vote for Trump. You put that Kente back on. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
So let's talk like and a little bit of seriousness in this, right?
All right, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
So let's talk about Kente cloth and the history, and how they used, I guess, Kente cloth to show their sign of like, hey, we supporting the movement, this, that, and the third. But Kente cloth was used to represent the different like values and virtue and stuff that the tribes had back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. For different African tribes. So the fact that they took something that has this virtuous meaning. And used it as a platform to let folks know, hey, we about the movement, was totally wrong.
She might as well.
They could have just
rolled her hair.
They should have just got a bunch of Popeye's chicken and a biscuit and been like, we're having
simply just said we support the movement.
But that's the thing. It's like that old person who's trying to be hip with the kids. Is this how you? This is the Tootsie slide? How you do it? And you're like, no, you're doing the running. We don't do that anymore. What
I think they tried to do, which was more offensive. It was offensive. It's actually, it's like we laughed at it, but it was also equally offensive because it's like you think because you do this that's going to equal that. And I mean, we're not going to get into the whole politics discussion, of course, but I'm just saying the Democrats for so long have depended. They're like, we won't get the black vote. So they're like, yo, we're not even really worried about y'all, but we're gonna go ahead and just, pander for a minute because that's the wave. The wave is, y'all care about Black Lives Matter. We're gonna get the Kente Cloud coming over. We're gonna mass produce it. We're gonna all wear it, and and my thing is, all them white people, and nobody was like, wait, what are we doing? Nobody was like, what are we doing? Like nobody. Everybody was like, yeah, Nancy. That is such a good idea. Where'd you get that?
And the two black people resigned. This is like, I'm done. I can't do this.
So moving on, have you guys heard about? Okay, so you guys know that Cam Newton finally got picked up. You guys heard him, right? He got picked up from the New England Patriots, right? Richard Sherman spoke out about it for Cam Newton, saying, "Hey, he got lowballed. All right, they gave him a lowball offer. They gave him basically a $1 million in 1 year deal. That's worth up to $7.5 million in incentives. Okay. His actual statement was this. This is Richard Sherman's statement. He says, "How many former league MVPs have had to sign for the minimum? ? Asking for a friend. Just ridiculous. A transcendent talent and less talented quarterbacks are getting 15 to 16 million a year. Disgusting." What do y'all think about it?
So I agree. But I am divided. And this is why I told my friends I'm rooting for Cam, like not at the expense of my great Baltimore Ravens. But if my Ravens don't make it, shut up, John. You know my team is great because you're a Steelers fan. I'm sorry. If my Ravens don't make it, I would love to see Cam make it just to spite what how the Panthers treated him and etc. The problem for Cam, and why I'm like I can tell it's business, is because number one, it's damn near the start of the season and no one picked him up. So which means no one believed in his talent anymore. And so that's I can't, at that point I can't say is this for on that standpoint, is that a race thing or is that me distrusting that he's not the same Cam he was?
He's not the Cam. Cam Newton is not
after his surgery.
That's why I see that. So I felt like Sherman was making like I disagree with Sherman because it was like no one picked him up. New England is the only team that gave him a shot. Number two, New England never plays their players. New England has a history of never. Tom Brady has never taken a top dollar. He's not even there anymore because he wanted more money. Yeah. He's never had a top dollar contract. Tom Brady has never even been in the top 5, 6, 7. Say it again.
Yeah, he does now.
He is not, but he's not playing for New England. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
New England has a history, which is why they've been so great. Is look, this is what you get.
Prove
you
your
can
worth.
come on board. You can win with us. Yeah. And then when Bama's asked for more bread, it's buy. And so I just feel like Cam Newton's going to be starting quarterback. I feel like he's going to get that 7.5 million.
Who's the other quarterback at New England? Do you know?
They drafted a rookie. That's all they have.
So basically, they should start him. They're going to start Cam.
He has to compete. They don't got nobody to throw to. Who are they going to throw to?
I don't know.
One wide receiver on their team.
I just felt like Cam Newton hasn't been a great quarterback in a long time. I just got to be honest about that.
But John, he's also like he gave his life and limb for Carolina. That's why I wanted to win. Like he was playing injured. He was playing significantly.
So did RG3. But who's is anybody caring about him?
He's still on our roster. He's still on our roster.
He's on your roster, but I'm saying nobody cares.
And he's still making more than Cam Newton.
But he gave his heart to Redskins, and everybody was like, "Boy, bye!" Like they was just like, "Yo." I remember one of the last games he played where he almost got he got sacked because he was injured trying to play through it, and they was just like,
because we injured him.
Y'all trash. But look, all I'm saying is Cam Newton has to prove his worth, and I feel like maybe I do hope, just like UT, that he does prove it this season. But I also understand why people will be very, very hesitant to make him any part of their roster because he hasn't been on any for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
The only problem I have, John, is where I'm with Richard Sherman is there are a plethora of backups who are trash, and I'm be very clear. Cam is probably better. Cam Newton is probably better than, I would say, 50% of the starting quarterbacks in the league right now. Even at that level, he was still better than. I know several teams who have like the Rams. He's trash. The Titans. He's trash. Like Cam is better than most starting quarterbacks in the league. So the Patriots really are getting a hell of a deal, to be honest.
Honestly, Kaepernick is better, and he's not. Is he playing? He's not playing this season. Right? No. And nobody still hasn't picked him up. And he how do you pick up? But okay,
does he want to be picked up at this point?
Nah, he got a big contract with Nike. He got a big.
He's making bread.
But no, he wanted to play. At one point, I think last year was when he did that little show off thing where he tried to show off his ability and it didn't go nowhere. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Like basically did like a tryout and
like a tryout thing.
Yeah, and he like changed.
He canceled at the last minute.
And it was 30 minutes away, and nobody cared. So like, I guess my thing is, if you have with the climate, Breonna Taylor, why haven't their killers been found? With the climate, why isn't like the energy of like what's happening right now? Why isn't Kaepernick playing quarterback for somebody? Like the climate's ready for that level of, because if you're talking about what Mike was saying before, like talking about the engine versus the car being clean, we really want Kaepernick to just be playing football again and not have been blackballed. You could have threw him $1 million deal like you did Cam Newton. Tried him because he's way more likely to be a good turn on investment than freaking Cam Newton is.
Because he's not injured. He's
not injured, right. And he's still young and he can still ball.
Yeah. But Cam is still young though, yo. Cam is still like, that's my thing. He's
injured. He
just got beat up, man. He's been sacked more than any quarterback.
Which is just so we're clear before we move on, that's partly his own fault. His fault. Because he wants to run and play. He played injured, and he wants to always do that. I forget what it's called, but where you like fake. No. Why would you even think I was gonna say that? No, not Superman.
When he does that.
No. I mean, on the field. Play action. Thank you. I'm like, dear God. Talk about the daggone celebration dance.
That's what you was talking about.
That's why he's failing his celebration dancing.
Maybe you'll live longer.
all them celebration dances hurt his shoulder. That's what that is. Like, what?
You're stretching too much. You just go on a little bit. Go over a little bit.
All right, so you guys saw that Michigan couple, right? That Michigan couple who drew their gun on a black mother and her 3 daughters.
I'm ready for this.
Okay, I see I got a couple more topics to hit. Let's not go all the way on this lady, but look, she drew the gun on the black mother and her 3 daughters, and those people, the couple were arrested. I don't know if you guys saw the video. It's Eric Wustingberg and Jillian Wustingberg. I don't know how to. I think that's how you say their name. Charged of felony assault. This was actually a polarizing topic, as you guys might imagine. It actually wasn't as tilted towards blacks as you would have thought. There were a lot of black people that were like, man, they were calling them racist off the jump, and we wasn't probably really racist, and they kind of escalated and were the aggressors towards the white people, which made them.
I'm actually on that side.
I'm not saying what side I'm on. Go. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, well, you know what, Tony?
Tony is gonna say you.
No, I didn't even watch a video. Like, I stopped watching some of these videos just because it's just too much. And also, it's like, I do see that there's some things that we are the aggressors on. And then when there's a retaliation on our aggression, it turns into a race thing. But that's all I'm going to say on that. Because I haven't watched the video.
So I saw, that the problem is the video that went viral was just when they had the gun out. And that's why I said I'm always a big proponent. Let me see all the facts.
Yeah, just like the one when the husband and wife came out on their property, the Black Lives Matter protest entered private property, ruined their gate, and it was like 500 people marching through there. So hell yeah, I'm gonna protect myself.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Want to say
that is the main.
It's a peaceful protest, but this man was just like, "What are y'all doing? Get out! This is private property. All of this is private property. Y'all don't belong here."
Yeah, I'd be mad as a mug if somebody marching through my backyard.
And that's my thing.
They broke the gates to get in there.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm with Tony. Like, so the video that went viral was just her back up. But then somebody else eventually. I'm glad I've seen a lot of celebrities posting the full video without saying how they felt. They just been saying the only thing they've said
it was the daughter.
This is the full video. Like, they didn't say how they felt. Here's the full video, and you see them harassing this white woman and this white man. They wouldn't let them get in their car. They were behind them, wouldn't let them back out. So finally the girl was like, you know what? Back up, move. Like,
now, I do agree. Brandishing a weapon is not legal in a lot of places. That's the only issue that I have with the one with Black Lives Matter protest and this one is brandishing your gun like that is not legal. You cannot do that in a lot of places.
You can't. When you say brandishing, you mean like aiming?
Pull out your weapon to make someone else more fearful. Yeah, you cannot do that.
But so if she had just showed the gun, but not
still brandishing.
That's still
brandishing. So what could she have done to let her know to back up, other than
call the police or back away? Because if there's
they couldn't back away, that's why they almost hit the person.
I mean, but still, like this is a firearm that can literally is deadly, right?
Is this thing her life is not in jeopardy? Like, you know, she's just being harassed.
Honestly, this is to my. I hear y'all, and I agree. Her life was not in jeopardy, but as far as the white lens, she thought she's about to die. Like,
from that standpoint, yes, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Because they don't know that our yelling is not we about to kill you. Our yelling is just how we are as people. They're like, oh my God, I'm about to die. That's so. Let me hold on. I'm just gonna tell you one last thing. That's their way is the same way as police officers. Like their whiteness and how they are as white people is the same response police officers get when they go police black communities, and they misunderstand cultural differences and they think it's something that's like, oh, you're about to kill me. That's what I was about to say. Go ahead, Mike.
So you mentioned the white lens, right? And you know, us as a people, the way we talk aggressively and stuff like that. I really wish we didn't have that narrative, but we do, right? Sometimes we do. And when the lady ended up, or the black lady ended up approaching the white lady, yelling at her, screaming and everything like that, if a random person does that to me, and I got a concealed carry on me, I'm like, hey, look, man, I don't know exactly what you about to do. And this is the same mindset that I believe a police officer goes through. If somebody is approaching you in an aggressive manner, you got to be able to defend yourself, because now you got things on you that could potentially be used against you if somebody was to, you know, take you down or get the upper hand. Right. Yeah. So you got to act first at the end of the day. I feel like that white lady was, you know, I feel like she was justified in a way, because if you look at the video, right, the second video that went out, somehow the lady ends up behind the car as if, you know, she was trying to stop them from backing up and stuff.
You can't do that. Like,
you can't do that. Screaming, "Oh, you gonna hit me with your car? You gonna hit me with your?"
Yes, woman. Yes. I'm gonna hit you with my car.
And we do stuff and then we get mad when people retaliate against it. You can't do that.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Go ahead. I actually want those charges dropped. Like, after seeing the whole video, I'm hoping they get a fair.
Here's the thing, T. They keep arresting people that they don't even know. They're like, yo, let's just arrest them so the black people don't go off on us. Like, they're just literally arresting everybody.
Right. But going back, meanwhile, Breonna Taylor's killers is just
still sitting
exactly
sitting at home. We can't arrest everybody. Look, we can't.
Like, bro, like, what more do you need? This couple was literally just, I want you to back away from my car so I can go home. Like, look, pull up.
Arrest them.
Arrest.
And granted, we still haven't seen the whole video, right? We don't know what events transpired before they even got to the point. You can see her
breaking down. You can see her. She at the first part, she was just a regular old whatever her name was. But you can see her transform into Karen so quick.
Like, it was like, look, it's not
Karen. Yeah, you about to get Karen.
She was like, yo, it's not a race thing. I don't know what happened to you to make you think that this is a race thing.
Which is legitimate. That's legit.
Yeah,
Mike,
like, yo,
that's legitimate, yo. That's a legitimate comment to say and make. And that's the thing. Black people, stop making everything a race thing. Stop it.
Sometimes you're actually wrong.
Sometimes you just daggone wrong. It's not about you being black and white. Like, you can't immediately pull the trigger on that. You can't do that, yo.
You can't go speeding at 90 miles an hour on the highway, and when you get pulled over, say it's a race thing.
Right, and be like, you didn't pull over that. You didn't pull over that white person that was. Well, I found you, and you were breaking the law, so I'm going. You know what I mean? Shut up.
Yeah.
Stupid stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm with the couple. I'm with the couple on this one.
You know what? I stand with the whites too. Okay, I am with the white people on this one. This one.
I would have pulled my gun. Like, I would have pulled my gun.
Yeah,
nigga, you don't get away from my car.
And look, see, as a black man with a hat on backwards, I would still pull my gun out. Like, what's good, yo?
Away from my
car. All right, guys. Have you guys heard of the August Alsina situation with Jada Pinkett-Smith? So August
heard of that briefly, man. So
I'm gonna tell you what happened. So August Alsina confirms his relationship with Jada Pinkett-Smith, and says that Will. This is what August said. Will gave me his blessing. Okay. August also said everyone got courtesy calls in advance prior to releasing the story. He told, hey, Will, look, I'm about to tell everybody how I smashed your wife. I'm about to put that up. Just so you know. So I don't know if he left a voicemail or if he actually talked to Will, but he said he gave him a phone call.
Hey, just to let you know, I'm about to release this. So just making sure you're good with it. Okay,
the
bye.
same way I released on your wife, I'm about to release this whole thing. That's so rude. So anyway, real quick, Jada said she will bring herself to the Red Table Talk. Good. And I got a question for you guys. Do we all still listen? Not listen in the sense of like follow her, because I think some of us, I don't know if you guys, but I checked out the Red Table Talk. I support it. I was like, this is a really dope thing. And then I found out that Jada is sleeping with August, and Will said it was cool. And I'm like, I don't think I should listen to any more advice from the Red Table Talk. And I just want to know what y'all think. I want to know all of y'all takes on this one, because this one was just too much for me.
If there's an agreement between the two of them, that's an open relationship between the two of them. That does not make their advice any less valid if this is within the scope of their marriage.
I agree.
So they are open marriage.
So that's been going on for years, right?
I know. I've heard it, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I'm just saying, based on this information and the past, it's like there's an agreement.
The Pinkett-Smiths, the Smiths are winning this war about whether they have it open or don't have it open, because they don't have to even directly address it. And their money is getting longer and longer every single year. Yeah. Will probably has the biggest social media following I have ever seen to go from nothing to where this mass YouTube channel, like,
and that John came out of nowhere.
It's like a year. It's a year ago. I feel like he was like,
amazing.
He's like, I'm gonna start a social media thing, and then next thing you know, it's like 85 billion people follow him.
Right. Meanwhile, there is a vast amount of church-going believers who think he is taking other women down legally, and we don't even care because he is just so inspirational and so like, and my mind, these two have never gone on air to say we don't have an open marriage. They're just like, you think what you think.
Yeah, like the Campbells. You remember the Campbells years ago? Like that whole thing with them and the Campbells.
Yeah,
like.
There was the Will Smith one came out. What was that movie he made with Ava Mendes? And that's when it really went viral because Hitch, because it came out that he had an attraction towards towards Ava Mendes, and that they were intimate.
Who would not have an attraction toward Ava? Okay, Jovita would be like, "Bro, I already know you slept with her." Okay, like, what are you talking about right now? What are we talking about right now, T?
It was a big deal. So I'm just like, it's Ava Mendes. Like
Jada had to be like, "I know you smashed her." Like I would have smashed her. I was like, "Come on, bro!" Like you don't
like true.
I get it. I get Ava is bomb. Okay, like there's no way you didn't smash her.
I don't know if she smashed August. I don't care. I just think that she's winning. I think that they're winning regardless.
I really don't care. And for me, if you did this, what is the need for you to go out and just release this?
Now that's the part right there. Because I don't know if you follow.
What is the need for you to do
Ryan Davis is hilarious. He said, "Bruh, this man let you swan dive in his wife, and all you had to do was
keep your mouth
shut." Right? You got a lesson.
Like literally, like if you did this, why couldn't you just keep your mouth shut? Did she release something to say that you are some dog and all this other stuff? Did she start this? No. I don't know. But
I was about to say, how do we know she didn't? It could have been
because this is like something you do out of retaliation. Like, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get an interview, and I'm going to release everything about what we did.
And all you people out here like August is a victim. He said, make me a victim. Make me a victim. I want to be a victim. Like,
victimize me.
I wish Alex Rodriguez or Jay-Z would make me a victim.
Brother, like, I will gladly go into that victimized room. I'm telling you.
Like, what are you doing, August? What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, that was So I think people were saying that it was happening because August released a new album, and I think that was what they were. That's what speculation was why he released it now, because that's been an ongoing discussion. Him and Jada has been an ongoing thing for a minute.
And I never knew that.
Really?
No, this is well before, because I had saw some footage of them together, and even then somebody a year ago or so was talking about August and her, but I was just like. But who the heck, honestly, who cares about August? Nobody cares about August. And at the end of the day, like T said, if you are smashing Jada and you didn't want to, you didn't want to get paid off of it, why are you telling us? You were just the luckiest man alive. I'm just you are happy. We're happy for you. Do your thing. Like I'm like but I did kind of feel like she be out here giving mad advice. I'd be like, but I didn't realize that I didn't know whether it was a real thing. If their marriage to being the open marriage thing, I didn't know if that was a real thing or not. I've heard it, but I didn't know.
About. Yeah, it's been talked about.
And then with all the advice and how they talked about their relationship, with all the issues and the space that they've given each other to grow and develop as friends and stuff like that, I could see how you could agree for an open relationship while you guys are pretty much learning yourselves, growing and developing, and trying to come back together as friends to improve your marriage. I could see how they can fit an open relationship in there.
I don't see. But would y'all have an open marriage if your wives was down? Wait, let me set the stage before I ask the
question. Whatever stage you want. If somebody somebody's going at my wife.
Nah, buddy.
I'm not trying to incriminate you guys. I'm just trying to understand. Like yo, babe, your wife's like, babe, I want you to have an open marriage. I want you to get fulfilled by the, Mendez's.
I married you because I want you to fulfill me.
So that's what you say. That's the energy.
It's a trap.
I'm with Mike. I'm like, nope. I've actually seen this. I've actually watched this before, and you're not gonna catch me this way. No. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I don't know.
For Valentine's Day, so I got you a girl for Valentine's Day.
Okay, so to go home.
She cleaning? You guys are
she the house cleaning? Yeah.
Okay.
Real talk though, like we talked that you got to have everything unattractive. Anything unattractive has to be in this house. Like whether it's a cleaning lady, anything, everything has to be unattractive. That's not my wife. That's just the bottom line. That's the rules. Okay, that's just the way it goes. And just like if we ever get like a pool, the pool boy ain't gonna be good looking. He gonna be an ugly fat slob. That I'm like, yeah, go ahead clean that pool, nigga. Like you ain't getting no bodybuilder nigga like out there in the back. No sir, you got to go, brother. You got to go.
You seen the memes of the August Alsina? Like, hey, yo, I'm here to pick up your wife. The bad boy, I'm here to. And somebody said, what did he say? I saw one. It was like using the calendars. Did you lie about August? Did you?
I cannot. People so ready. They're so ready for these memes.
Yeah. I had a friend. I had a friend who had. Short story. I had a really good friend. Real short. She got married. They moved out of state. I'm not going to say because in case people follow, I don't want them to know who they were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And her husband, it started with them going to like swinger like things and parties, and then eventually it transitioned to her sleeping with the girl when they didn't know, and then him sleeping with the girl when he didn't know. And so they pretty much were having an affair, even though the girl was invited into the marriage when they were mutually together. But then they ended up and then she said she ended up falling in love with the girl, and he was in love with the girl. It was just like a whole bunch of
This sounds like a bunch of smut.
It was it was so shocking because the person who this was, I've known her for quite some time, and she was like a freaking fallout apostolic, speaking in tongues. I'm just like, run back, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, those be the ones, bro.
Bro, I and don't take too much to shock me. I was shocked that this was going on, because I was asking why they divorced, and she said that's why he was cheating on me. I'm like, but he's cheating on you because? But didn't y'all I don't get how this works. So when
y'all cheating on each other with the same chick.
I don't get it.
I hope they don't follow the podcast.
Nah. They don't. I'm not cool. I know for a fact.
Yo, she's like, oh, so you just gonna talk about me on this here podcast?
I know for the fact without saying it, with the female in it is dead. She definitely. I'm just saying. So
this plot has thickened. Who killed? Who killed her? The girl or the man?
Who Carol Baskin this girl?
How do we get
Who Carol Baskin this girl?
See, don't tell no more stories, okay? No
I'm just
more.
Letting you know. They don't follow the podcast.
All right, we got time for one more story, guys. All right, this is the last one here. All right, so Jeffrey Epstein. You guys have heard about Jeffrey, I believe, maybe? No?
No,
I didn't follow that all the way.
It doesn't ring a bell. I probably heard of it.
I knew about it, but I didn't follow it.
He's the guy that's super, like, has a whole bunch of money. And I don't know no one ever knew what he did, but he had a former associate. He was killed, obviously, while in prison because he was having basically sex with underage girls.
Oh yeah.
And they did a documentary about it on Netflix. But the girl that was his girlfriend, associate, I don't know how to say her first name, but I think it's Ghislaine Maxwell. She's been arrested because she has been charged by the Southern District of New York for conspiring to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, perjury, and other offenses. So if you saw the Netflix thing, I saw it. I thought you guys saw it. But if you saw it, basically Jeffrey Epstein was out here getting women to, like, it was almost like a pyramid scheme where he would get the girls to, like, basically have. They would go under the pretense that they're going to go over to his house and give him a massage. That was always the entry point. They'd come over, give him a massage, and if they were either down to F or whatever, they would F him or not. And if they weren't down to F, he would be like, all right, do you have any other friends that are like you that may want to give me a massage? And they would go and recruit for him. It's basically like an R. Kelly thing all over again, but just a wealthy white man. And he had been doing this for years.
And they were all underage?
They were all underage. They were all. That was what he was into. So there was rumors that he was killed because everybody he only hung with the best of the best, highest of the high, most powerful people in Miami and other, like, all over the world, really. So like Bill Clinton and Chris Tucker, like random people had like hung with him. And they didn't know his behavior was so. I mean, they may have known. I don't know, but the bottom line was he's so well connected and interconnected that basically he committed suicide. I'm putting air quotes up because essentially he was murdered. But because they didn't want any information to get out about who and what he's been doing. But then they finally arrested his girlfriend, who also known everything about what he was doing too.
So you said she about to die too.
She should make sure that she's not around any ropes or sharp objects or guns or anything, because they're going to try to kill her. I'm pretty sure.
Sheesh.
I'm pretty sure. But I thought you guys had heard about it because it's been kind of circulating lately.
Now that you say
I remember
that, I have heard about it.
There's a whole thing on Netflix. Yeah, there's a whole thing on Netflix about it. I was bored one day and I watched all of it and I was like, oh Jesus. And so hide your kids type thing. And the energy, I guess, is like what I guess is more the overarching thing is what's up with these powerful people wanting to get these women that are under freaking age? Is it and Tony
they don't have to deal with the battle or like that challenge that a regular woman would bring to the table. It's like kind of like coercion with money. It's just like, well, I don't know. It's stupid to me. I don't understand. I'm just saying.
It's a disgusting fetish.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, like it's and I think I've thought about this a couple of times. Like, yo, how do you even
bring yourself to that?
You know what I'm saying? Like I got nieces, I got I got friends that have kids, surprisingly, like that are, age now, like teenagers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bruh, how
I even as a father, I think
myself.
Yeah, I was about to say as a father, I think of it like too. I'm like, how do fathers have sex with their daughters? Like, I'm like, how do you ever cross that threshold of like sane and I'm okay and have everything okay in my mind mentally, and then go to a threshold of you're attractive to me and you're my seed, like you're my child.
But it's even sick to even talk about. Like,
it is sick to talk about. But here's the thing. The way our world is changing and turning every day. So I want to say this real quick before, and I know I'm going to probably get some backlash for it. And I'm going to just say what I need. This is what I feel. This is not the thoughts of the podcast or RRP or whatever, but this is what I feel. I'm watching TV with my 2-year-old daughter, and I see the two guys on there like talking about AIDS basically, and then they're like have a medicine for it or whatever, and they kiss.
Yeah.
They kiss, and I'm like. The desensitization that you're trying to do in my life right now, and make me okay with things that I'm not okay with. If you're okay with it, let it be okay in your household, but don't try to filter it through my household and tell me how to think. And so that's my only issue with it. And I feel like sooner or later, as this, like the same way homosexuality kind of became a slight thing, and now it's like the thing, and now it's beyond acceptable. And I'm not even voicing my opinion or thoughts on it right now. That's just the wave of the culture. Aside from even that, I feel like the same is kind of happening with pedophilia. Like they're kind of like, this is disgusting, this is gross. I can't believe R. Kelly did this. I can't believe Epstein did this. And then I'm like, is the wave coming where 15 years from now, it's like, well, I like little kids, and I shouldn't feel like disgusting because of it. I'm gonna walk in all of who I am, and I feel like I should be able to be free about my thoughts and feelings towards this topic or subject. Is it a slippery slope argument that we're starting to walk down? I don't want to think that way, but I feel like a little bit that's what I'm kind of feeling, because I'm like, it wasn't.
Well, I mean, they are talking about it being, I have seen things in the past about it being, some people thinking that it's a sexual orientation, or not maybe not those exact words. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. So T, I feel like we talked about this one time before, like maybe last year or something.
I'm trying to look it up right now. I thought it was California where there was like a push to legalize, like,
Yeah.
Wait, they have a law?
Well, at least they trying to push for something where, like, okay, so around the same lines of, you got the LGBTQIA. Yes. So you have that community, and everybody's pushing for equal rights and everything like that, as far as sexual orientation, like you said, Tony. But I feel like they were trying to push for this law, which I think T's trying to look up now. Where pedophilia is that what it is?
Pedophilia.
Pedophilia, whatever. Yeah, y'all know what I'm saying. That they're trying to legalize that or make it a sense of like, a sexual orientation, like it's okay to do that. Like that's within my rights to be able to do something like that. And I'm like, yo, where? Like you said, John, like are we getting to this point where we're, condoning or, going down this slippery slope of condoning this type of behavior? And I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. But at the same time, and this is where I refer back to, Christianity, right? And, my beliefs and everything, around the lines of like just nature of the flesh in general. Like there is no, there's no cap on that. So whether you want to go after, kids or something like that, I mean, you want to have sex with kids, sexual orientation, whatever the case, all of this stuff is still coming from a sense of like a fleshly mindset. So, and at the end of the day, those are things we got to take into consideration. Like these are the things of the world that we are experiencing. And we got to be able to combat that with the spirit, man. Like just straight up.
Yeah, I think it's called the Pedophile Project. It's a legal movement that is pushing to normalize pedophilia.
Normalize pedophilia.
The Pedophile Project?
Yeah, the Pedophile Project.
That's ridiculous.
And here's the thing, like I hear that comment that Mike just said, that's ridiculous. Is like, that's the thing. Is like, the more I want to think for myself, the more the world tries to tell me how I should think. And like this idea of like, oh, I want to say that's ridiculous, but if I say it, I'm a bigot. Or I hate you. I don't like you because I think something differently than you. And I feel like that's the part of me that's like, I'm constantly fighting to say, you know what? I'm going to be 100% all of who I am. You can cancel me. You can hate me. You can. That's not my energy towards y'all. That's your energy towards me. But I feel like I can have my own stance, as you have your own stance that maybe it's not all just about heterosexual. I could be homosexual too. Okay, that's your stance for your life, for what you feel like is appropriate. For my house, don't be having two men kissing on my screen like that. That's normal for my daughter's upbringing, because it just isn't. And that's not the culture of my household. And that's not what I want to push here. So to have that on TV and act like it's normal, it's like, what are you desensitizing to me for? What are you putting the Novocaine for? Like, are you trying to put like something behind this so that now when you push for the next thing, I'm gonna be like, oh, well, I mean, they're fighting the same. Because when you think about it, think about every battle. And even the LGBTQIA is trying to like attach their struggle to slaves. Like they're trying to fight, say, hey, it's you're the same way you were like, basically shunned and not allowed and not this, not that. Like that's all we're fighting for. We're fighting for the same rights. It's a building block to the next fight. And I feel like that's what this is with like the whole LGBTQ movement. It's like, what's the building block for the next fight? We're talking about this right now, but what are we going to talk about in 20 more years and be like?
That's I mean, and I'm not saying which way side I believe that or not, but that's the gift and the curse started to be historic of Brown versus Board of Education, because once you said everybody is equal, that's it. Like once that thing went through, everybody's equal. We know what it meant back then, but like you said, what is it going to mean in 2050?
Exactly.
Like everybody's equal regardless of anything, this and this. Then why am I not equal? Because I happen to like 12-year-olds. Like,
exactly. And that's not a bad argument. That's the thing about it. Like, we're acting like, no, John, that's a dumb argument. No, that's not a bad argument to make when you start saying, hey, I'm no different. Because there was even 10 years ago, there were people that had married the Eiffel Tower. There are people say they had a sexual attraction to the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel freaking Tower. They looked at it and they was like, I think it's cute and I want to be attached to it. I want to marry it. And people were like, I'm just like, okay, that's crazy. But like, so in a world where that's something that's like, okay, that's crazy, but people have made sense of it now, right? I feel like that's what we're feeling. We're feeling right now, John, that's crazy. But in 20 years, they'll make sense of it and say, no, that's normal. Your daughter, I think she's cute and I want to marry her. And it's my right she's 12. She's 12. I want to marry her. You should, and you not allowing me to marry your daughter who's 12 is an infringement on my rights.
So let's not act like this is a new thing. Right, this was something that happened centuries ago, right? Weren't they marrying? Yep. I don't know who they was, but I've heard of this happening in history where like folks was marrying to like kids, like 12, 13-year-olds or whatever like that, and living about their lives like everything was straight. I can't remember exactly where, but I remember hearing it within history that it ended up happening. But the fact that we've eventually worked our way to a point where we had laws and stuff in place to say that, okay, a 12-year-old or younger or whatever, like adolescent, cannot make those necessary decisions as a freaking grown adult should be able to. So now it's coming from I'm coming from a mindset of, okay, you want to push these narratives or you want to push this type of relationship on a person that can't even make decisions for themselves adequately and properly, like and I guess maturely, and you're taking advantage of an adolescent, man. You're taking advantage of somebody that can't speak for themselves.
That's it.
Seriously, like and me as a father, whether that's my son or my daughter, they're my responsibility. So I automatically am thinking like, okay, you coming at my son or daughter trying to take advantage of them, I'm on defense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on offense because I got the AR.
Offense and defense.
I'm going after you. I didn't want to. I didn't want to make a left there, but I just felt like that was a really good point, I guess, because I'm just looking at what the research has shown me. What has life taught me? Like, man, when I saw that commercial, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was offended. I was like, the fact that you think you could just put that on my screen like that, the fact that you could just act like that's all good and normal, don't do that. Like, and I feel like there's not enough Christians saying that. There's not like, and I'm sorry, it's like it doesn't make me hate you because I don't want to see that. Like, that's not a part of my household. That's not what we want, and we're set apart. I'm sorry. That's the stance I take.
That's just what it is, yeah.
Don't if you feel some kind of way about that, then feel some kind of way because I don't care. I want what I want for my household. You can want for what you want for yours. But I feel like we don't do that enough and speak up enough. And I'm like, yo, I was like, I need to march or something because when I saw that, man, I was like, bro, you don't go just have two niggas kissing each other on my screen like it ain't nothing happening. See, also, real quick, the 13 reasons why the last season literally was all about niggas being with each other. Two men being with each other. Like all throughout 13. I'm not trying to be funny. Literally, the whole storyline was about homosexuality, predominantly amongst men. In a sense that, like, even to the point in which, like, I don't want to give it away if y'all watch it, but I ended up watching it just so I can understand what is the culture trying to do right now. And I'm just saying, they're trying to make it so normal, y'all. I'm just saying they're trying to make it like so super normal.
I'm so divided because here's what my dividing part, not as far as my belief, because my belief is very strong. I just feel like but my beliefs is my belief. What I feel that's happening, but to John's point, that is still I'm so far away from the mic, that is still dangerous. This is about a culture of inclusivity, and I'm for that. And the reason why I'm for that, in a sense, is because how I personally believe and how I personally feel what's going to happen in my household. I do not want my views to infringe upon your right to exist how you are. So I would say that one, like, I'm straight. I want everybody in my house to be straight. You could be whatever you want. And I also don't want you to feel differently as you walk around and navigate society because of how I feel like this. I always equate that to the same thing as I'm not a Muslim. And so if I start seeing it, and I don't practice things that somebody Muslim might practice, makes sense. But if I start seeing stuff on TV that just now all of a sudden we have more Muslim people, we have more of this, and they're not eating this and this, I'm not offended because I love the fact that they're being included when they didn't used to be included. Like, and I said this, and let me preface that to what I was arguing here earlier. I think I put on my Facebook thing, like, I think we should save the Redskins are changing name argument to Native Americans. Let's let the Native Americans lead the fight on this one. Oh, I forgot that they're almost wiped out thanks to America. Like we don't have any of them to champion this fight on television because they've been all obliterated. And so I still see it as an issue of inclusivity. And so I am not. Some people talk about there's a gay agenda on media, like there was an issue with when that Disney cartoon Onward came out because there was the first gay character in Disney cartoon. And right now, I've been hit Mike up a few weeks ago. I got the game Last of Us on PlayStation, Last of Us 2, and I don't know if you ever played Last of Us 4. Just an amazing game. Last of Us is an amazing game. Spoiler alert: the girl, she's the main character in part 2, and she's a full-on lesbian. Like it's just blatant throughout the entire game. She's literally walking the entire game with her girlfriend.
I played it.
Whole game, right? And I'm not offended because I'm like, this is about inclusivity. Even if I disagree and I don't feel, and I might, like, in my mind, if I don't want to see it, I could just take the game back and I just not buy it. And I feel like I see what John's going with. John, I don't have a choice if I turn the television and that's what I see.
Exactly. Sense? I'm not watching a porn or not porn, but I'm not watching a channel that could have something like, I'm watching like regular CNN, MSNBC. You got channels. And speaking to your point of inclusivity though, real quick, T, I didn't see a bunch of Christian Jesus is Lord commercials. Like, I don't see, like, speaking of inclusivity, like, no one's looking out for the things that I care about that are salient to me. So I'm not saying they shouldn't have that, but I'm also saying what you say inclusive, put it up
a little bit, John. The reason I say careful is because and this is why I'm not. It's always weird, and this is why I said I hate to be in the spot that I'm in. And this is a good topic because my religious views often contradict my societal views, and I hate that because I'm just this strong Christian, but I feel like as a nation, it's just really weird. How do I feel like I have how I feel about this? This is what the Bible says, this and that, this and that. But it often counters what I think should happen in society. Because I feel like as a society, this person should be made to feel equal, should be made to feel embraced, and has the right to see people like them on the screen. And so, careful, John, when I say it's not the same argument, but it is, because for years we didn't have any
representation.
And so you all saw my video, and I'm gonna say it publicly, the video that I launched the other day, like of my YouTube channel, like the
Netflix.
Shameless plug, Netflix and chill, go follow on YouTube. But I posted a video of the top 10 family movies of all time that you should show your kids, but they had to take place before 2000. And so as I'm doing this research, I'm trying to let me find a black, at least, I don't want to seem like I'm not into black movies, and I don't want people to think I'm not into black movies. Let me find a pre-movie prior to 2000 that includes a black cast. I could not find any. There were movies, and I feel bad because there were movies I left out of my list, all because I wanted to be more inclusive. Like, I would have had The Sandlot on there. I would have had The Mighty Ducks on there. But if I'm doing 10, where can I find some black movies to put in there? So I put in The Wiz and I put in Cool Runnings. The Wiz or Cool Runnings is not a better movie. I'm sorry, was not a better movie than The Sandlot or The Mighty Ducks. Let me be honest with you, it just wasn't. But what I'm trying to correct is decades of how blacks were represented on television. And so in a sense, John, it does become the same argument. It seems countercultural to us because of our belief, but I'm just saying it is the same argument of inclusivity for people who are gay. And watch it, and it's going to be. Let's push aside the like people who are gay. Even when it comes to Asian people, name a film, name a television show, a big celebrated Asian show where they weren't fighting.
Right.
Where not to fight. And
Fresh
so
off the boat, they're all Asian and they're not fighting.
And that was, and thank you, John. And that was the big push. We had a sitcom of just Asian folks. And how long did it last? Because nobody wants to. That's why I watched that Bruce Lee special, because no one wants to see an Asian if he's not fighting. And so we have these stereotypes, even that we have, even growing up in America, that I'm just saying to say that it's not the same thing, John, but it becomes the same thing, because at this point it's about including people who are not saying who are not making them feel welcome, but making it not so that it becomes ill. What is that? And it may be like that for us, like as believers, makes sense, as strong believers. But for someone who exercises that faith, I kind of understand why there's this big thing out there of showing them more. It's just about inclusivity. And to counter your point, what you said about Christians, it's because for John, I remember for centuries and decades, the Christian thing was the only thing in America. If it wasn't the Christian way, that's it. There's a reason why we have the laws that we have and we have the rules like that we had, because it was only the Christian way, and so that's why your argument was the same argument as that white people had about, oh wow, these blacks on TV now, nigga, because for years we couldn't be on TV. That's why we on TV now, and so I just want to say like so I'm not countering you. I just say, but that's the reason why we see. Whether I agree with the gay agenda or not, disagree, I tell you the one thing I do understand. I understand why there's a gay agenda. Let me just say that. That's what I want to say. Whether I want to show that to my children and see them to children, it doesn't negate the fact that I understand why it exists.
Yeah.
Just like the same thing with the Me Too movement. Whether I agree that every male who's come on to a woman, blah blah blah. I don't say I agree with that, but I understand because of the historic atrocities that men in power have done to women. That's why we are here, and we're to blame for it, And so that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. I don't want. I mean, I didn't mean to go into a big thing on it, but I did want to say that I was uncomfortable about it, and I feel like if anything, I should be able to control what comes through my airway in my house. Give me that option. Be like, you know what? I don't want to see nothing crazy coming on my screen at my house because I'm at the comfort of my house.
Well, right. I mean, it's public television though, right? So like, if you got CNN and stuff like that, whatever they put out there, it's free reign.
And they're more liberal
out there, and it's up to you whether you want to change the channel or not.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're watching. I'm watching for the news. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I mean, really, if randomly I'm watching the news and somebody just starts kissing a nigga on there, I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm watching the news. So I get it. But I guess in general, I feel like I'm trying to come around to the topic of, okay, how do I feel about this? Like as it meets my front door. And I think we are constantly looking at that and evaluating that. I'm not a bigot. I'm not trying to say I'm not for the movement. I agree with Terrence where it says, you know what, if you feel this way, you should be on earth. You should feel like you're included. That I do agree with that. I just don't think it should come through my house if I don't want it. That's all I'm saying.
You want the option of not having to see it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So today, guys, we talked about a whole bunch of different things. I especially loved all things related to Will Smith, Jada, and August. All of it was just the best news ever. And I think for sure, guys, we got to keep the conversation going. So look, we are normally we do our real talk wrap up, but as you can see, we were all over the place today. Ain't nothing to wrap up here, but put a condom on, I guess, when you're having sex. I don't know what you're gonna do. You can't wrap nothing up. All right, on this particular episode. But thanks for listening to us, following us on Facebook and Instagram. And look, we're trying to do a special push. Even right now during COVID season, look, go ahead and go on iTunes, go on the podcast and say, hey, man, we love Relentlessly Real Podcast and we enjoy it. This is why we like it. This is why we enjoy it. If you happen to hate the podcast, do not write on there. Just let us know that you hate it, okay? We'll just be like, okay, thank you for giving us your opinion about it. But if you happen to love us, we definitely want to hear from you for sure on those podcast platforms. Also, follow us on Relentlessly Real Podcast. If you want to submit topics, you can send it to relentlesslyrealpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's relentlesslyrealpodcast@gmail.com. My name is John.
My name's Mike.
I'm Antonio.
And as always, I am Terrence.
All right, and thank you guys so much for listening to the Relentlessly Real Podcast. Who's going to say peace?
All the fire in the sky makes me feel so alive.